Welcome into the Extra Point, brought to you by Tompkinson BMW, the home of the ultimate driving machine. With me is Coach Redhead. Coach, week number 3 coming up, and week number 2, we knew it was going to be a grind heading over there to Tiffin, and man, it came true, didn't it? That was a tough bunch to play.
Yeah, they're a good football team. They're division bigger, and they're very competitive in that division, and playoff team. So. When it was scheduled a few years ago, we were having our good run here,
Yep.
but you still got to play people, and playing them will make us better because not a lot of people we play on the rest of our schedule is that physical.
Yeah, no doubt about that. That was a big team too, man. When you looked at those guys, Van Wert was a good sized team, but that front looked like that they were a more physical front. They were a more mobile type front than what I saw against Van Wert. Am I right or am I wrong?
Oh yeah, they were definitely very, very big, strong up front. We had some trouble sustaining blocks. Even the DBs, jamming the receivers, knocking them off their routes, things like that. It was just a tough night, and you get those sometimes, but we're going to get better, and we got them coming to us next year.
That is a team, and you hit on it a minute ago. They've got a tradition. They're in the playoffs a lot. They're in the playoffs more than they aren't in the playoffs. Talking to the guys up in the booth, this is not one of their better teams. But again, right between those ears, man, this is a playoff bunch. They expect to be in the playoff, no matter whether a down year or a good year. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they've got confidence, and that's what we need to get right now. Get some confidence in what we're doing, and in our team and our teammates. The kids, they're still playing hard. We just need that first win to get the confidence and get the ball rolling.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Hopped in a bus. For a lot of these guys, that was the first time that anybody hopped on a bus for 2 hours, went over to a field that looked a lot like a playoff field. We even made a comment up in the booth. It felt like a playoff Friday night. For your guys, was that a good step for them to go through that whole process?
Well, yeah, taking a long road trip is never a bad thing. We got there and we had to hurry and get ready, and that may happen with traffic or accidents or something. The kids got to adjust and, deal with adversity. And, the biggest thing, we came out and, we hurt ourselves early with field position and giving the ball back. And, defense played well, and they did everything they could. We tried to get the ball rolling, and when we went to try and throw the ball, we dropped more passes than I like, and that's for sure. And, 6 of them were for first downs, so that made it tough.
Yeah. It almost seemed to me like if you guys could have gone down that first drive or that second drive and scored, that might have been an entirely different football game too, because they seemed to get more confident as the night went on. Tiffin did.
Yes.
They didn't look all that confident or all that well-oiled when we first started.
No, and we put ourselves in some long yard situations, and there's no magic play for 3rd and 18, 3rd and 20. It's tough, and the kids battled, and they kept, the effort's there. It's going to come. The biggest thing is we just got to get the personnel in the right positions, and we played with that a little bit, and they're all playing hard and they're all giving effort. We just got to execute better.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Played on field turf the other night. You like that turf? Did you play on that in Florida, or do you prefer the natural grass?
Oh, I like the turf. It's a good, consistent surface no matter what the weather is. I played on it several times, and I told the kids, just like the grass, it's just shorter. It plays a little quicker. So the footing wasn't an issue. There was no major problems with, the adjustment to it. The kids did fine.
Yeah. Last year, the state of Ohio put that 35-point rule in where you start the running clock in the second half. Every coach that I talk to seems to have a little different take on that thing. Do you like that running clock in the second half when you're down by that many points, or would you rather just play that game out?
Well, they had it in Florida, and I think it's so, when you do get a lopsided game, it doesn't go 70, 80 to nothing.
Right.
Our game wouldn't have went that way, but it definitely goes quicker. It's a difficult spot, but you can't let your pride get in the way either. Guys used to have the choice in Florida, whether they wanted to take it or not in the third.
Okay.
Fourth was automatic. I watched guys time after time refuse it, and they're down 48-0. They let their pride get away from them and make a decision that hurt their kids. We just got to play, no matter if the clock's running or not. That's what I told them. I said, we got to keep playing, and it just makes it a little harder to make a comeback, and we're not going to give up and wave the white flag ever.
Yeah, and I don't think you did that. I mean, you came out the second half, you were down. They put that score on you kind of early. Looked like the mindset then was, we're going to really take to the ground. We're going to run that ball. We're going to pound it. Obviously, you said we dropped a lot of balls. We had a lot of incompletions, but it did seem like your team responded, and you did run that ball in that second half.
They did, and we came out and we drove the ball down the field running it, and trying some play action. You know, it's pretty tough when they load the box with 8 or 9, and that's what they were doing, and we're still moving the ball. So, you know, there's progress being made. It's just not, you know, in the W column. And that's where, you know, I just got to get that sense of urgency with the boys and get them that every rep, every play in practice, it counts.
Yeah, yeah. Last thing about that game, and then we'll take a break and get to the game coming up on Friday night. At the end of every game, you put them all on the line, you run them to the other end of the field. I know there's folks that question that. They wonder about that. Are you punishing the kids? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Why in the world do they stand on that line at the end of the game, Coach?
We do that after every competition. We did it after 7-on-7. We do it after all the scrimmages. We do it win, lose, or draw. Okay, and there's a simple purpose for it. Number one, I want to see if kids are gassed, if they gave all. You know, the kids that are out there running and they played a hard game and they're still giving effort, you know, it's kind of a pride thing like that, and I can tell if they're fatigued. 2, I can tell if anybody's injured. Okay, I can watch the whole group run, and I can see if anybody's a little gimpy, and if they are, I send them down and I say, just wait down there. Okay, 3, I want to make sure that everybody's got the right mental attitude. You know, win, lose, or draw, you still got to finish. You still have to run those for pride, and that's what the 340s for pride are. And, you know, if guys are just going to jog through and pout, I can see that, and then I can go address it and say, listen, you got to keep your head up. You can't ever hang your head, and you can't, you know, shut down. You got to just keep playing, and that's why we do them. You know, it's never a punishment.
Yeah, no. That sounds like a smart idea. That's an old fashioned. I said that to you a long time ago.
Old school.
It's an old school way of doing things. Back in my day, there'd be a coach kicking you all the way down that field at that point in time. But I understand the reason for it. I think most folks now will probably understand it as well. You know. All right, we've got Napoleon coming up. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about that ball game right here on the Extra Point. Coach, this is week number 3. We said non-conference. Those first 3 weeks are going to be a bear. We had to go back on that bus. We had to head over to Napoleon. Napoleon's got a long football tradition, but this is a game maybe that's not quite as tough as the first 2 that you've had here this year.
Yeah, this one, the matchup's definitely the best out of all 3. You know, they're big, they're physical. You know, we've got good size and we're physical. They don't have a lot of finesse. You know, they're going to line up in 2 tights and tee back and pound the ball at you, and then they're going to try and hit some play action, which is similar to what we do. So our kids should be used to that. You know, this game's going to come down to, you know, who wants to win it the most. I think the teams are as evenly matched as we've had in the first 3 games, and you know, it's just we need to prepare. We need to, you know, we're dealing with a few dings and bruises here, so we have to adjust some personnel. But you know, this is definitely one that we want to go get. That's the town right down the road. You know, we want bragging rights over them. So, you know, it's we're gearing up for it.
For a long, long time, this Napoleon-Bryan game was a big game. It was a big rivalry game. They're not that far down the line. So it's good to have them back on this schedule again. I can tell you, we've never gone to Napoleon and watched a win. We've had some great games and lost in the last second. So now's the week to maybe turn that whole thing around this week too for us.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I noticed something. We've got 630 wins and they've got 612. and you know, I want to get us to 700. You know, hopefully in my time here. Hopefully we can get those 70 wins. And it can start Friday night. You know, that's our goal. Get on the right track, get winning, get these kids some confidence, and you know, let them play. We see sparks of greatness in the things that they need to do, and we just got to put it all together. And against 2 really good opponents, that's been tough, you know, but they kept battling. I think they're going to get a little bit, you know, of a breather. It's still a good football team, and they're no slouch. But out of all the matchups, this is the one I like the best, and this is the one that, you know, we saw after we scouted them going in. Yeah, you know, we can play with these guys.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Watching some tape on them, they do spread a little bit, but as you said, this will be the first T formation team you're going to see, because they do like to put those 3 backs in that backfield and either run that belly right at you or sweep that thing around the end with those guys blocking. What do you have to do to prepare for something like that?
Well, biggest thing, we got to play physical up front and not get driven out of our gaps. You know, we can't have our defensive tackle go down by the center. You know, we've got to hold our ground and hold our areas and play our assignments. When you play against a wing team, it's playing your assignment, whether you have the sweep or you have the power or you have the trap. You've got to play those things, and that's what you play your assignment. Once you know it's not yours and they're not running trap, then that linebacker can get out and help on the off tackle play. But we can't run out of there and leave our assignment because that's when we'll run right behind you.
Yep, no doubt about that. Coach, you've had week number 3 coming this way. You've had 2 weeks right now. You've watched tape on these guys. Have you seen some improvement even though you're 0-2 right now?
Yeah, you know, we're getting better. You know, this is a group that, you know, a lot of these kids haven't had the experience, and they're getting it. You know, I told them Friday night, you're 5 weeks in. And we watched film. You know, you've played 5 games, essentially. So, you know, you're not rookies anymore. You got to start playing like you're a veteran and picking up the schemes and picking up the adjustments that we do. And, you know, 90% of the games chin up. I always tell the boys that, and, you know, mentally, if you know where you're going and you're going to execute and you know what your assignment is, you can get it done, you know, physically. But, you know, we just can't have the mental breakdowns.
No doubt about that. Bryan Napoleon's coming up here tonight. If it's Friday night, football is on its way. Thanks for joining us on the Extra Point tonight, Coach.
Thank you.